Okay,
Yay.
here we go.
We're live.
Presumably. Confirm that we're live, people. That's your most important first job. Are
Well,
we
we
really?
have. Is it a waving? The emojis don't show up properly on here. I think it's a
No.
waving emoji.
Oh, that's awkward. It like cuts into your space.
It's fine. I can just position myself.
Yeah, just like, you know. Hello, people. Okay. It is a wave.
A wave.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
I
I'm so
literally finished catching up with your stream from last Monday with like 10 minutes before it started.
I mean, that's okay. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm also very much here for the like almost prepared chaos. You know what I'm saying? Like I am frazzled. Also, as a warning to everyone, really quick, my child, well, one of them is downstairs right now. I had to pick him up early from school. Well, I guess on time for school. Whatever. It doesn't matter. He's downstairs, and I told him that he is not allowed to come up here unless there's an emergency. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so hello Pavilia, hello Tinguish, hello Dark Venus. Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm back.
Bib! There's a Bib. Yes,
Yeah.
Jake is back. Hello, George.
I
Yeah, it'll be fresh in your mind. There you go. And I'll just remember nothing. So we'll balance each other out really well.
Yeah. It's basically gonna be like going through what you've done and like telling you the implications of it.
Which is good because I feel like we were just like throwing spaghetti at a wall, like, ooh.
Yeah.
Was very much part of the vibe. But I feel like everyone that's watching this has been in a previous one to some extent. So I guess it's just a super quick thing. We're working on the seedling for Pillar World so that we can create all the daughterlings of Pillar World. And last time when Jake was not here, it was my job. Oh, wait, hold on. I can share things. Is this it?
Yeah, I did want to like clarify some stuff with you.
That would probably be a really good idea.
Okay. Because like there's like two elements that I think have been a bit crossed in your mind when I sent you to make these word lists.
Lovely.
And I think that like it's very interesting for me because like I feel like there is a bit of a conflict is probably too strong a word, but kind of what I really want to know is a lot of stuff about the culture from before they get transplanted, basically.
Yeah.
And I think for your world building, you are not planning on taking that too much into account. But for the language specifically, we really want to be intentional because like for example, you have if we think about like we have your alpacas, which I don't remember if no. So you can see here that we have I'm just like highlighting things and then I'm realizing that I'm probably not actually okay. Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, it does scroll down. I was like, wait, I think we're talking about somewhere else.
Sorry, yeah. I'll as long as you just follow my cursor, I think it should work. So if these woolly and hairy alpacas are two different breeds or species that that are from before the seed event. Let's go with before seed event and after.
Okay.
which would make it BSE. This is weirdly close to BCE and is it ACE? It's not NCE. It would be PSE, post seed event.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is some kind of alpaca
Yeah.
before the seed event, right?
Mm.
One thing that David likes to have is he has a kind of flowchart somewhere. I don't remember where exactly, that basically says, should there be a root for this word?
Okay.
If this were not live, I would just go and find it and send a photo to you or something. But I think I'm gonna like try and weasel it out of my mind at some point. I don't know if you want to do it now or if you want to do it later. But basically, flow chart for making roots.
Okay.
All of our roots should exist from the before seedlang event,
Yes.
because like I think that you have some really good ideas. Like stuff like cliff is fine. Like making a word for cliff, good. Making a word for sky pillar before, and this would effectively be from before they ever reached the pillar world.
Oh,
It
yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
like, but we can hold on to these ideas.
Mhm.
But it meaning type. I'm like, did I make this or did you make it?
Where? Where are we?
Sorry, in the lexicon section. I think that it's probably you, because I usually just have them in like loose, like loose in the Word document. just like you have up here. But anyway,
Wait, where?
sorry.
Maybe
If you
I
just click
don't
on my
know.
face, you'll join.
Whoa, I didn't know you could do that. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know why I was scrolling up. Okay. Yes,
yeah.
I started making this because I'm like, "Oh, maybe this is how we'll wanna organize it," and then I, like, didn't use it. I don't know.
It's so if
Oh, hello, Miles.
we think about how we're structuring this, basically,
Mhm.
um, and I'm gonna zoom up here to the top, which again you can just click on my face and you'll join me.
Brilliant innovations.
Yeah. So we're creating at the moment a lot of stuff for this 0,
Yes.
and we haven't decided which one of these letters this first language we're going to make is going to be. But we can basically say that if we go through what you created,
Mm.
we can assign the stuff that should be newer. We
Yeah.
can claim these as new coinages in one specific branch.
Mhm.
But you wouldn't but all of these top letters here, the
Mhm.
ones that are marked with stars on your map, those are all independent groups at the point that they have arrived in the world, and they don't have any way of communicating between each other to begin with.
Yeah, so they wouldn't share like, anything that didn't previously exist, they wouldn't have any necessary reason to share unless there was, like, convergent linguistic development or something,
Yes.
right?
So
So
if there's a very obvious word for something, that's perfectly fine, but you can
Mhm.
get really creative with what you call things, um,
Yeah,
based on having original compounds for all of the new stuff.
yeah. We
Um,
we sort of that was the initial intention because I mostly caught on to what you were explaining last time for it. And then I think I just got a little carried away where I was like, "Oh, well, they would have these words, so then if they were to use this word, it would be called." I got a little excited. But I mostly tried to
excited
just
is
do that
good.
with the previous words that then might stick around at some point, you know?
Like, for example, like your animals section, like if you wanted, like a lot of these are good and they make sense.
Mhm.
Um, I think for example, the killing fog. I like if if you have a word for rain cloud that already exists,
Mhm.
I think that it makes a lot of sense that um, that you would then also have someone like a group innovate a parallel structure,
Yeah.
basically.
So the
Uh,
killing fog specifically culturally would have existed for the previous people as well, which I may not
it
have
would.
I don't know if I made that clear or not. Yeah, so the idea was that the people that were brought to Pillar World were brought there because their world was being taken over by the same evil fog or whatever too.
Okay.
And so they had that concept of that already, which I think I completely did not make clear.
No, I wasn't aware. Okay, so this predates
Yeah.
the seed event.
Yeah. Like basically them being brought to Pillar World is sort of like what saved them, if that
Okay,
makes sense.
cool.
Also, Bib said where the flowchart is, which episode it's in, and Tinguish gave us the timestamp for it. So if we wanted to go and find it, it should be pretty easy to do.
Okay. Um, okay, and at 140. Okay. That means that I can probably get there without having to have any strange noises. Okay. Okay, which episode? 14
Episode 14, yeah.
and at 140.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's definitely a good point, Bavilia, of why you were suggesting creating like words for various animals that could be used to describe things. Which I think makes sense. Anything that like seems like a good utility word for making other words later on helpful, I think.
Okay, I'm gonna do a screenshot of a YouTube video, which I think is quite low quality, but it will suffice for what we're doing. Okay, where should I put it? I guess in the word lists section? Yeah.
You could put it up where you were talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah, right there.
Okay. So
You're stealing from David. I love
I've only ever stolen from David. You know? Like
it.
um I so like culturally appropriate. For us basically means did this exist before the seed event? And you can think, is it climatically appropriate?
Yeah. And like if it would have any chance of sticking around for any useful manner. Like having a word for like I don't know, like tons of ship terms might well, I mean like they could have a ship still, but like stuff that would definitely not stick around, we could probably not bother with too.
Well, as far as I'm aware, at the point in time you're describing, we weren't really doing a lot of long distance navigation, were we? Because this was also confusing to me because there was like this about 10,000 BCE thrown around, and
Yeah,
then
so
it was also that it may have been later, but it wouldn't have been the technology of later, um, like because of the difference, like Yeah.
Yeah. I think we came around to roughly like it would be a little later, so maybe somewhere like around the common era, kind of. Like we didn't need to
Oh,
go
okay.
that
That's
many
like
years back,
very
but we
different.
figured there yeah, like we're still Iron Age. We're still like maybe as up to as far as like 500 common era, like somewhere between like
Okay.
the middle the first millennia is either direction.
Well,
Maybe like
because I was
somewhere in
like,
there.
I was preparing to be like researching what we thought like Proto-Afro-Asiatic was like, just
Yeah.
because I was trying to get a sense of. I think last stream there was like, I'm first of all like, I'm quite aware that we have. They're not two very distinct groups, but you have some people who are like long-term conlangers who have come to kind of help out and watch along and all of that stuff. Um, and then um, like uh, there's another group that like are more world builders who have less conlanging experience, and I'm trying to like. I think my main goal with this is just that after this one, that you understand what we're doing.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's the vibe. And we'll just have to play with it to like, work on the balance of that. But yeah, I think it'll be good. And yes, Bavalia. Yeah, we were talking somewhere in the like I think we near the end we were getting into more like they probably like maybe early Iron Age potentially, but like they had some metallurgy capabilities, like they were familiar with that. And then yeah, they would have had a tech regression and been building back up, but they would have had some of that base technologies and stuff going in there.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I
And
will
this is also subtropical, right?
hmm,
Yeah. Okay, cool.
yeah, because we want them to be in like a relatively comparable area, or else none of the stuff they brought over would have like it would have all died out from instant shock, most likely.
Hmm.
Like if they were polar, like from like a polar, subpolar climate and brought those like seeds and animals, they'd all be like, whoa, and all their clothes would be like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, they do okay in the very tall ones. I
yeah.
don't know. Like it just makes me think of Bib's video on could we eat aliens? You know,
Mm-hmm.
like the whole idea of what if all of the sugars were the opposite way around?
Mm-hmm.
Like would we just die because everything was the
Yeah.
wrong way around?
Yeah.
Um,
We're hand
okay.
waving that away. There's
Yeah,
divine
so
intervention. It's fine.
it's fine. We like there's an argument about like I think it's actually about the existence of God, but basically the idea is that if we one side of the argument is that we exist because we know we exist because we live in conditions that enable us to exist. And
Mm,
so if they were taken to a place where they all died immediately upon arrival, you would never have reason to believe that anyone would write a story about that.
that's true. Maybe this happened 10 million bajillion times, and these are the people that survived.
Hmm.
Yeah.
An infinite seed thing.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it's the yeah. There's the strong and weak anthropic principle. Um, I don't know where I was going with that. I've just had dinner. I'm it's like trying to think about stuff. Uh, okay, so I'm I'm trying to remember what my other thoughts were. Okay, so one thing that happened was that you were using Lexifer and you wanted longer words, but what you were using was there was some that basically there was like a syllable rule, and the effect of it was that like I know David's not here yet because he he has like something to do. At one point he was going to be here and now he's not.
Okay.
I think it's like a fancy call or something. Anyway, so David's quite, I don't know what the nicest way to say it is. He really doesn't like having roots that are really long.
Okay.
And I reject this based on what I've studied. But the reality is that like I think it's a bit strange to have roots that are one syllable long. Well, 1 syllable to 3 syllables is probably fine. It's more that the syllable structure that you're using, if I write it out somewhere. So a lot of what you copied across, was actually using the form CV, what would in these terms be CVA, but you wrote it as CVD, from what I remember, which means that you would have any consonant and then any vowel, and then only R or L as a coda, which means that all of these are allowed within this unit. But it's a lot more restrictive than what this one is. And so if you consider that, for example, it would be possible to have a word like blarb, and then you could have like blarb, mlarb, glarb as a root. if you have 3 maximum syllables altogether. Also, it doesn't sound right because I'm like, the R sound, I think it's meant to be a trill, but I can't say a trill. And so it's just,
Marklar.
and then I'm also not really good at the American rhotic, but yeah.
Okay. So when we were putting that in, because I know at first, okay, I do not know anything about how the Lexergy thing works. Because at some point we ended up putting back in the default stuff they had in there, which I think
Yeah.
gave us a lot more syllable structures that I was just like, I don't know what this is doing, but it's giving us more stuff, so let's go with it. So I don't know if that helped us out at all. But also I have a question about what you're talking about with the length of the roots. Because for the most part, other than the words like when we created cave and we created that as a compound.
So remember, this isn't a root. This is a compound.
Right. So that sort of gets into like my question of it. Like would this not stick around then? Would we only get Dave and Den or Stone and Den? Would you not see any compound words sticking around from the proto language? Like what is the purpose of this then? Like,
okay, the purpose is so Ireland right now is Dubabo, right? So if you wanted to name something like Dragon Island, because this is so long, like also there's also like part of this which is like there's nothing wrong with Dubabo as a word, and we don't have to come up with like sources for every single thing, like particularly at this stage where we've kind of said this is the word for it.
okay.
Like if you wanted to say, oh well, actually, it's a dub plus abo, or a duba and a bo, or whatever, like
Yeah.
you can do that. But we can also just say this is like a thing that exists now. Like and Jujale, like I think it would be strange if Plateau was just Ju, right?
Mhm.
So I'm fine with like I'm fine that these exist.
Okay.
And as you said, like the fact that this is a compound is fine. Like we're aware of very old compounds in many languages. Um, it's just like so that going forward, um, we are going to try and like reduce things down.
Okay.
But if you start with really long words, then it's harder to then create, like this is our word for cave now. And I can, like if you imagine that, say you have a stress pattern and you lose half the vowels, and it's going to be like pitke, and then you have like, oh, it's the nesting cave, so it's a kichpitker or
Mhm.
whatever. It's still, I think it's, I don't think there's anything that's like wrong per se. It's just like best practice, I think.
Okay. So
Um,
okay. So it's not like we should aim to make compounds when we can reasonably make compounds. It's more like the things that would stick around might be more likely to be the shorter roots.
no, it's not that, and it's partly just that having very long units early on means that like um, I think it's a bit hard to judge right now because we haven't got any further sound changes. So
Yeah.
if we know that, like the parts of it is that right now I I'm trying to um like one thing that would be useful, I think, if we I'll go above the lexicon. So to seed line grammar.
Mhm.
So one thing that's happened is that rather than some of these have implications grammatically that are fine. I think they're quite Englishy,
Mm.
but there's nothing wrong with being
Yeah.
Englishy, especially because so most. I think I need to like get my thoughts in order.
Okay.
So um, no, I'll leave this in bold. Most proto languages tend to be, or most proto languages for Conlangs tend to be analytic,
Okay.
which you understand what analytic means, right? So there is a
Mm.
kind of one-to-one relationship between the phonological unit and the meaning.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. I
Um,
and just in case you are worried about this, if you're like, "We should scrap all the long words and all of the compounds," I'd be like,
no,
"Sweet, let's do it."
that's
I'm just
fine.
saying, like, I'm attached to nothing.
It's that, okay, so some things like, okay, I I think Nemo was like doing a good thing by suggesting like a compound for planet. I don't think planet is necessarily going to be, I don't think it would pass the David's test, right? like, so is it culturally appropriate for them to have a root word for planet?
Mm.
Um, no, this is for a whole word. This isn't for a root. Okay, but so did they have astronomy at the point that they exist?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yes, this native term section we can basically ignore because if they're gonna have a word and it's at this proto level, then it has to come um, from this culture basically because we don't
Mm.
have any others, and we aren't going to build in loan words from before the transplantation.
No, no, we are not.
No. Um, but yes, it shouldn't be a basic term. So we go to derive from existing. I think the thing that crosses my mind is that this is very similar to the etymology of the word, I think it's our word for planet from the Greek, which means like wanderer or something.
Mm. Okay.
Um, so it's one of these things where I feel like it's also it's I know that Nemo knows some ancient Greek, so I'm thinking that that's like a conscious thing.
Mm.
Um,
Well, I don't want us to like whatever we can do to give ourselves the most flexibility at this point is a good thing. Um, so like I feel like the stuff that is boxing us in too much. Oh my gosh, Miles. Ew.
okay,
Ugh.
so for example, skywalk is one thing.
Okay.
We have cold rain.
Mm.
Um, we have water bring. Um, um, so a cliff. The idea of cliff here is basically um, that it's the edge of the pillar, right?
Mhm. But it's a
But,
word that would be likely to stick around for that reason, yeah.
mhm. But this is going to be a. Um, I'll make these PSE words because unless where they come from also has pillars as well, then
Yeah.
because like okay, so just this pillar one as well. So if this place has like mesas or flat top mountains or something, I think I like there isn't a reason, like this is one of those words where if you think that like in the BSE times
Mm.
it wouldn't be culturally or not even culturally like I'm trying to think like you're going from a life probably at not a lower altitude.
Mm.
I remember, although they have alpacas, so it could be that these people were adapted for this environment because they were originally from a more mountainous place, maybe.
Yeah. I think that would
Um,
make sense given that, like, unless we wanna say that, like, they only had the, like, haired alpacas that then evolved to be woolly in the colder areas, unless we wanna say that, then I think it makes sense to have both. And it would
okay,
give them the most flexibility to have seeded in a lot of different places if they had a little bit more variation from being from a more varied altitudinal place, I guess.
So they were from a place with moderate or extreme altitudinal variation.
Let's say like moderate. We can continue to go with the example of like Papua New Guinea-esque. Just because I feel like they had a lot of similar climate zones there that we're going to see on a lot of the pillars in similar fashions. So that would be a good comparable place, potentially.
I'll call it Papua because you mean the whole island, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Papua. Okay, sweet.
Free West Papua. I feel like it's one people don't know that much about, but yeah, like the exploitation of West Papua is a bit of a problem. So cool. So then it could be like a word for like a skinny mountain, or like the I guess the question is like, and this is maybe something for you to think about. We have examples of things that are like the pillars in real life. So they have the tepuis. I'm thinking of the Tsingy de Bemaraha.
And Pavilion mentioned the Giant's Causeway style large basalt column things too, as a potential comparison. I'm like, if I'm very like non-fussed about it. Like, I mean, I know we could probably extrapolate something that would get us pillar, but like if it seems like something that would be a little bit less likely, yeah, and a karst can look kind of pillory. I mean, we could just nuke that one, you know? It gives us more flexibility to call it different things, you know?
As well. I'm gonna say let's make this mean something. Do you want to make it cast or what? Tower, like tower could work, or
yeah, let's move it down to tower because we already have a spot for tower and just nothing for it. So towers, we can move that.
Okay, so this is where thinking about how we organize this is going to be useful. So it doesn't make sense to label it innovations though, because they're all going to be innovations. So pillar. The other thing is that we don't have any sound changes yet. So we can't be like, well, actually, so we'll go with that to question mark. And this meant tower, and now it means pillar. And so all of this stuff is fine.
Okay.
And yeah, this is going to. Although, what is the difference with a sky pillar versus a? Is it just a very tall one, or?
I feel like I don't even remember. I feel like we were just like, oh, well, they have a word for sky and a word for pillar, so maybe someone would call it that or something like that, you know, when they first got there. But like that feels like something that we'd like nuke, you know?
I mean, then this could just be pillar then. It would be sky tower.
Yeah. I mean, it would, yeah, like if they were to compound it, they would mean that. Yeah, the actual pillars in Pillar World are fairly tall. A lot of microwaving is happening. Yeah.
What did Nemo miss? Nemo missed me. I don't know if it was a call out or anything. It was a kind of like Detective Jake tracing the art. Yeah, Val hiatus is something that I'm gonna come to at some point. Okay, those are good. We'll work out what we're doing with this
Mm.
later.
Mm.
Okay, so gubiho, or gubiho. So this is all good. Okay, so we have falling water is nabago. And that was rain.
Yeah. Is that more like grammatical implications than we want?
There's no more than we want. It's just, it does have implications.
Than ones that we don't want.
And this one was planet. It's just because, like, if you see that here, you have a verb here and a verb here.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it could be, you mean rain as in the noun, right?
Probably.
Because I think if it's one of these things. Let me check the. Okay, Miles had the same question.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that you're doing basically is that this is a participle form of fall in English, but there's no difference between fall and falling in the form that you've given.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It means that this is probably is as a modifier, which then has the implication that the unmarked form may also be either just present or also possibly progressive.
Mm-hmm.
So you get this in French. So il pleut can be both it rains and also it is raining.
Okay.
And that, like, that you have paraphrastic ways of differentiating them. So like if you say il pleut maintenant, like it's raining now, then there isn't a there isn't a version of that where you would say, oh, in English you clearly mean it rains now. I mean, actually, I guess there is a context, because like in the deserts it didn't used to rain, but it rains now. Like but I don't think that's how you would say it in French. But
Right.
anyway, I don't want to like write myself into holes that don't exist.
Yeah. I mean, if that seems like a cool thing we want to move forward with, we can keep it. We can also just like nuke these compounds so that we don't have to be restrained by that right now, and we still have that flexibility going forward to do other stuff.
Nah, I want to hold you to the effects of your action.
The punishments.
So no,
Okay.
because there's a interesting thing, like gunajo, for example, right? So gunajo, sacrifice into water, is water sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a sacrifice of water. It is a sacrifice into water. Which so one of the things is that because this is likely going to be originally an analytic language, the meanings of things are determined by their place in the sentence.
Right. Okay.
So it was these two. These two are basically of the same kind.
Okay.
And it's that a locative argument precedes the verb, most likely. So this basically means that the location of something is going to come before the verb in a sentence.
Okay.
So like the water is falling from the sky. I mean, why you wouldn't just say rain, I don't know. But so it would be gu, and then, although to be fair, from isn't the same exactly. The rain. So let's go with a in or at argument. So let's go with nest.
Okay.
Falling on the nest.
Okay.
So it would be something like gu kichi, and then its full is naba. So it would be something like gu kichi naba would be water, like water nest falls.
Yeah.
Whereas we also have, well, you also have this water bring, which that's very verb final. One thing that I have there's not a problem. I'm affirming that it's not a problem. Like we know, let's have a booba. Basically, that myself and Miles have almost opposite preferences for syntactic alignment. I
Okay.
am very verb final heavy.
Okay.
I really like SOV. And I gravitate towards it very easily. And Miles loves a verb initial language.
Okay.
And so I feel like I look at this and I don't want to force it. I think that there was one.
Oh, another one?
I'm just want to look at all of the
ones we have.
The ones you have, yeah.
Nima says compromise and put it in the middle. OVS. I will say I don't mind the idea of the verb going at the end. Because I feel like I don't know, that doesn't bother me. That could be fun.
Like so with east and sun climb.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like think this through. It's like the east is the sun is the subject though, isn't it? The sun is rising or the sun is falling. Because if it were the object, then it would be more like the drop. And
right.
For sunfall,
yeah, so it's very much that.
But no, it's
yeah, sorry.
So I think I think that's actually all of them, which means that we actually some of these things. So we know we're dealing with adjective noun.
Okay.
This is like object verb.
Mhm.
And this is more like modifier noun.
Okay. I just want to say, I feel like this episode is called, "Oh, Maddie, what have you unknowingly done to us?"
Well, that was my whole experience of watching it. Was this like it's just like, oh, like because nothing was really wrong, but it felt like it was just going in directions that I wasn't expecting.
This
Because
is what happens when you leave me alone. She knows not what she does.
I think you started off with like the plants and animals, and you immediately went to like, well, these are all of the ones from the late Triassic. And I was like, no, Maddie, no.
Well, it's like because they would still be there. Like I was trying, but I was like, they wouldn't keep the ones if they weren't. You know what I mean? Like,
No, it's true and it's fine. But like,
Nemo's apparently also taking blame for partially for the proliferation of the compounds.
yeah,
Yes, unpacking the implications of my instinctive aesthetic choices. I'm here for it. We're
well,
learning.
I think like part of it is that as you learn more linguistics, you will realize that you'll have to challenge some of what you assume about things
Mhm.
just based on what the other options out there are,
Mm.
basically.
Mhm.
And like I think that like this will be like a learning moment because I think that as you go forward, like you'll find other ways to do stuff.
Mhm.
So, for example, um, the killing fog. I'll highlight it again.
Yes.
So this we know it already exists.
Mhm.
So the key thing was that you correctly identified that for many people it's quite awkward to do a aspirated stop right before a voiced stop. Um, and then you added the epenthetic vowel e.
Yes.
So we went from, and I'm going to use the Romanized form because I don't want to mess around with IPA.
Fair.
So we went from achdo to achido.
Mhm.
I think that this is a very reasonable change. I think that like part of it for me is the question. So one of the things that will influence how you feel about it is the fact that in English we would not allow something like
Yeah.
so actually we do have like some you can get like edge cases where you have a voiceless stop and a voiced stop next to each other. Usually, like I'm thinking of a word. Top dog. Top dog isn't like a single word, is it? Or can it be? This is where my my questionable English. No,
Top dog?
like it's an idiomatic word for like the boss or the leader.
Oh, the
And
top dog? I would put a space there, but yeah.
yeah. We'll put a space in, that's fine. But basically, it's kind of illustrates it fine. Whereas if we were to have don't worry about the dog bit. So if you think about how you say top and how you say pot,
Pot, top. Okay.
the T is probably a bad example, but anyway, um, we 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 only really we aspirate the stops here at the beginning of this syllable, and also part of it is the stress. So you get more aspiration, I believe, on a stressed syllable than on a unstressed syllable.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to think if I can, like in potato, I think that there is less aspiration on the p syllable than in pot. But I don't think that I think that this is some of this is stuff that like you have to be in your like little linguistics lab with your like fancy microphone
Yeah.
and Nemo is pointing out the pot spot difference, but it's more that so like I was trying to think of a good way to I don't know where I was explaining it within here. Yeah, anyway, so these aspirated consonants in Korean you occasionally get at the ends of syllables, but you have a form that's like between these, which is your phonetic rendering.
Mm.
So like we can say that phonetically it's at, but
Okay.
if we can also say that actually at the end of a syllable, this aspiration isn't pronounced. And so it's realized as at rather than at.
Okay.
I like the final aspiration. But one thing that either we say that, and this could even be like a dialectal thing. So with achdo or achido, there could be let's say that I think this is usually how you would represent this. That basically the underlying form would be at and do, because you don't want, where is it? Because at by itself also means something, doesn't it? Yeah, at is death.
Mhm.
It's in the religion section, isn't it?
Yeah, we kinda got a little all over the place with our categories.
Okay, basic term. Okay, so you're fine with at by itself there, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, which means that you're
Is it an emergency? But
if you go for a minute, I'll monologue. Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to think about, and if the people at home, I mean, I'm also at home, so I don't know why I'm using that distinction. Anyway, like, if you can think of a better way of explaining this, like, the epenthetic vowel, I don't think has to be phonetic. I think it can be, no, it doesn't have to be phonemic. It could just be phonetic. But I do not remember how I'm supposed to represent that in the IPA. And I think that you can just, I think that we could write it like this and it would be fine. Okay, I think having like an epenthetic vowel is a good idea. I think
Okay.
it's that, like, one thing that I wanted for the Italian sounding one, and also kind of for the, like, both of them, I knew that I wanted to do something with these clusters, basically.
Yeah. Pillow World, David Peterson, bringing the chaos.
It's from my accent, isn't it? Not yours. Like, pillar.
I don't know. I don't know who he's making fun of here.
I think that David's looking at us with love, affection, appreciation.
And the desire to take a nap.
It's probably still quite early for David.
Yeah.
Actually, no, because the really early one for David actually is at like 2 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah, fair.
Okay. We stole your flowchart, by the way, David.
Yeah, we did. Oh wait, let me show you. Oh, the theft. Evidence of the theft. Hashtag Napcore. Welcome, Jonathan. Okay. We're in the midst of learning what I done.
No, this is me just kind of orally processing like all of the things I feel inadequately capable to explain.
Oh.
I guess the thing that would help is like to write the rule. So
Okay. Yeah, like keeping it noted and stuff and using it as like a reference example kind of thing.
yeah, so I guess the question then is, so are you okay with achto staying achto?
Sure.
Like just the, okay, so you don't need that to become aspirated.
Sure. That's
Okay.
fine.
And what if it's achto?
Achto. That's
Achto.
that seems good too.
Okay.
Hmm.
So your only problem is when you have, well, I'm gonna, so let's change the vowel and the consonant. So uk, and you're like, so with uk, and remember that these are like Spanish-y vowels. So it's because there was like, it's like, it's do, not do, and not oo. I think I'm doing the British equivalents. Because I'm really not good with American English.
It's okay.
But like, so like, ooh, let's make this pa.
Ukpa.
No, ba. We'll make it ba.
Ukpa. Ukpa.
And ukba, and ukba. So you're fine with uk, right?
Yeah. Ook.
Yep. Uk.
I love ook. Like Jungkook. But how come yourselves?
And then, so with ukba, you'd want to make it ukiba,
Ukiba.
or are you okay with ukba?
Ukba. I think both are fine. I feel like my worry when I added the I feel like my anxiety was more, are we breaking our syllable rules here? I don't know. Let's stick an I in it and then we're not.
Okay. No, you weren't breaking the syllable rules.
Okay.
I'm curious. It's very interesting for me though, because I feel like you you feeling that it was breaking the rules is very interesting to me, because it feels like I'm bracing myself for David's Madeline after Conlanging.
Yeah. I mean, I know not enough. You know, I know just enough to give myself anxiety and do random chaotic things, you know? That's the vibe here.
Honestly, like, syllable rules are not rules that you can break and get in trouble for, you know?
Yeah. Oh. Oh, that's good.
You only get in trouble when we have a lexigy working.
Okay. Then I have no preference here with the adding the I, not adding the I, doing something different there. I think it's fine with me either way.
I'm gonna say we cache it in a we have the ideas section here.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna go underneath here and say ideas from working on the languages, and it's epimenthetic I to break obstruent. Okay. Across syllable.
Wrong button.
Okay. So I know I told you that we were just going to try and incorporate everything that you had done, but we are going to get rid of that.
That's okay.
And okay, so with your dapi,
okay. Like, if you want to, my feeling is that, like, a compound of two things is already enough. And like, if you're very attached to the I know that dapi is a much cuter word than dap. So I don't want to, like, and the other thing is the one thing I was thinking about was I'm going to go back to the goals. No, not goals, ideas section. Okay.
So I'm going to insert row below and just put notes. Okay. So one thing I was thinking of is, if you're going to try and emulate a language sonically, one of the things that's really fun to do is completely mess with how it actually works. And so I was thinking that like one of the things that you know about Italian is that it mostly will end with a vowel, right?
Yeah.
But the way that our words are structured, that's not required, basically.
Right.
And in Italian, that what that vowel does is it marks gender and number, basically. Right? So
Yeah.
like you can have this is where I'm like una donna and due donne, I think, or is it donni?
I don't know enough Italian to know.
Okay,
I
no, I
can
think
say
it's
like
donne.
excuse me. That's about it.
But I am gonna Wiktionary it just to check. Italian, yeah, donne.
Donne.
Um,
Plural feminine is E ending, says Jonathan.
yes. So rather than having those alternations, I was thinking that we could have some kind of case marking, which would basically be the Latin-y bit of your. Like I know that you had suggested them separately, but we aren't doing something that sounds like Latin because, as I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again. There's enough Latin inspired conlangs in the world
Works for me.
for the rest of time, so we do not need to make another one.
Right.
But I was thinking that like if we have some kind of or e u, although actually this gets a little bit Esperanto-y, but anyway. And there could be some kind of consonant here or something. But basically that it would give us a way of having a lot of the sound, like the sonic quality of it, while also avoiding kind of just like copying things.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think that is a very fun way to go about it. Like getting a similar thing through different means for the. I like it. I think it's fun.
It would mean that we wouldn't have necessarily. Well, we can look at word classes when we get there, but yeah. So, do you want to start talking about sound changes?
I'm terrified. We can.
Okay.
Oh boy. Where are we? Where am I missing it? Don't panic. Oh my gosh.
Heading one. Okay. So I know I think I've used some examples of sound changes before, but no, that's too annoying an example. I was going to be like, there's a reason why fur is pronounced fur, but it's spelled like that. But I think that that's kind of annoying, and I don't want to get my Vietnamese keyboard involved. So here we go. Psyche.
Okay.
So, and here's it spelled right.
I was wondering. I was like, oh, is this some like IPA thing or something?
No,
What are we doing?
no, it was, it was. So you can look at a word like psyche, and when we say it in English, there is not really a strong correlation between the way that it's written and the way that it looks, right?
Correct.
And a lot of that is because the um, the way that we write it is based on the Latin, which is based on the Greek, and I am just going to put so this is the ancient Greek here.
Mm-hmm.
The middle is it doesn't say when. Oh, okay. So the form that is psyche is I have far too many tabs open for this. Psyche is like Byzantine era, so 10th century. So there is 15,000 years. Have I got that maths right? Yeah. Yeah, the first one is five, yeah, 5th century before Common Era. Yeah, Attic Greek. I
Okay.
think that's right. Yeah. So I'm actually surprised though, kind of how little has changed. Oh, and I have the modern Greek, but I think the modern Greek is the same. Yeah. So basically what this shows you is that the way we pronounce this with just the S basically is a simplification of a former cluster. But the old cluster stuck around. Also, I want to remind you that in IPA, do you remember how to say this vowel?
Okay.
And I hope this isn't too triggering, but I'm gonna get, sorry, not that. Here we go.
It just gets bigger. It looms. No.
So
My first thought is maybe does it make like a J sound? But I don't know.
no, it sounds like okay. No.
No, that was me saying
Oh.
at the end there. I was like,
this was
okay.
the one where I'm trying to remember what the context was. Like, I think it was David had suggested something, and it had a U with a umlaut on it, and I'm trying to remember what exactly the context was. Anyway, it's the one that's like there's two ways of getting there. You can either start with like a e and then round your lips, so like e, or you start with a ooh and you move forward, so you go like ooh. I'm really like putting some great content on the internet for if anyone wants to like roast me. Anyway.
Okay.
It's just because when you did your Lexifer, I'm trying to see if anything carried over. But you got it all right, other than you put the Y in other than the J for the Y sound?
Yes, I'd have to look.
But you didn't use any of the forms with it in, so it's fine.
No, yeah.
And then we've lost it to the mists of time. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could go back and look in the video because I showed it on the video at some point. So we
it's
could
fine.
recreate it.
I can I have a program I use that I can send you a link for. And if you want to use Lexapher, then I can sort that for you.
I can use whatever. And to answer the chat, no, I have never sported. I did ballroom dancing and I was in color guard. And in school PE class, I got hit in the head a lot. I don't know. That's all I got for you. Yeah, I do HEMA now. So that's a sport. Martial arts anyway. I don't like catch things. I don't know that I don't throw it myself as weapon variety things. I don't know. I'm not sure where the sports come in. And no, I never took French or German or anything like that.
The hell is a color guard? Color guard sounds like something you'd use to stop going over the edges of a coloring book.
So, like, yeah, I mean, you catch things you throw to yourself, but they're like weapons, right? It's sword. Well, I guess flags. You catch the flags too, but I mostly did like the sabers and the rifles. But yeah, you like run around with like the flags and rifles and sabers, and I don't know, it's throw them.
You're running around with rifles?
They're not like they don't have chambers. They're just wood. They're just like
oh, okay.
Yeah. And the sabers are like, I mean, technically they're steel, but you cover them with like electrical tape. So they only sort of hurt a little bit when they hit you, you know?
Okay. Just a little bit.
Yeah, you wear gloves and you hope you don't like hit your head a lot.
Sounds great.
Chanting HEMA at the end with a crowd as loud as the first valve will be the way. I just scream at the top of my lungs right now on screen and see how much everyone hates me. Hearing American children handling guns and taking it literally. I did also handle guns as a child, actually, though I started when I was 3, so very American.
But
now I hear Yima. Even though that's not what it is at all.
David's trying to say HEMA, HEMA.
HEMA?
HEMA.
HEMA. Yeah, when I was 3. How else are you gonna, I don't know. It's a country. It's a country. Why aren't you shooting BB guns and stuff at like random things in the backyard? I don't know.
You know, like, I really try and like psych myself up by the idea of like going to the US to study and stuff. And then I'm like, oh, there are children running around the forests with guns. Just like,
I'm like, you're supervised. I mean, I also ran around the forest as a kid in ghillie suits. So like
like the ones for fishing?
Like the ones you'd use for like maybe hunting or something, like where you're covered in like straps of like canvas and sticks and
don't usually have to look at you. Like
yeah. Well, we play hide and go seek just really well, you know?
Like we do have stuff like that in the UK. So I think when I was in the Scouts, so I would have been about 12. No, that's probably even a bit old. Like I would have been maybe 10-ish. When I was away, like I had like target practice with like an air rifle.
Okay.
But like we really like, especially even when we would go on holiday and the police would carry guns,
Mm,
like it feels not so much now, but certainly growing up, it was like a big shock because we
mm.
basically never saw them ever in our lives.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense. It's definitely a very different thing. I mean, like, I
Yeah,
also like, I kinda grew up in the country where it's just a little bit more normal. Most people have acreage where you could go skeet shooting in your backyard or stuff like that, and it's far enough away that you're safe.
yeah,
I was
because my
also
other
raised by a
association is
Marine
like
and,
pod
like
people hunting foxes for fun
yeah, yeah.
because we don't really have any, no, not any, but we basically no one in the UK has to hunt for food, like,
Mhm. Yeah. I've never been
and
hunting before. I no, 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 not into that.
also I'm like,
Yeah, George,
oh,
don't get me
okay,
demonetized over here.
I don't know, maybe I don't know what George's 3-year-olds are doing. It's America.
Yeah.
Freedom. Okay. Um,
Oh my gosh. I will
um,
add as a final bit to this, just because I think it's minorly funny and probably minorly shocking in a non-crazy way. My friend group growing up, because they all grew up in that same area, a lot of them collected firearms, like, a lot of them had, like, licenses to collect firearms, which, like, you have to have licenses for different things, whatever. And they were able to, I can't remember when they did. I think it was like 4th of July, just to see if they could. They brought all of their rifles and their pistols down to the living room, and they were able to make the American flag out of lining up the pistols and the handguns of all of their guns. Very, very. Most people I
very
know don't
tasteful. Very
have anywhere near
tasteful.
that.
Very normal. There's nothing strange about making an American flag out of assault. Well, no, I guess they're not all assault weapons, but like,
Yeah. Yep. Country. Yep.
it just kind of. But why would how many people?
Probably 6 or 7.
Like that 6 or 7 people between them would own enough weapons to make a flag out of them.
Yeah.
Like it's not like anyone in the UK is getting together and making Union Jacks out of knives.
It was more of a, like, "Hey, we're all about to go to a thing, so we have a lot of our guns here because 'cause we're about to all do this big, like, big range day thing. I wonder how many we have. Oh, I wonder if we could do this." It was more of that kind of a vibe, you know? Yeah, Jonathan's right. It's not like that everywhere. Like, where I grew up, we had drive your tractor to school day, so, like
No, no, I get that. It's just like it's just like the weight of having those kinds of things in like personal property like is completely different here than
mhm.
it is there, right?
Yeah, it's
So,
so different.
yeah. So like yeah, it's just like a big cultural not even culture shock. It's just kind of hard to express how deeply sad it is for us.
Mhm,
Like like to because I appreciate that on some level, like these are people who are like um like effectively like responsible gun owners, right? Like these
Mhm.
are people who are licensed and all of this stuff. But um like yeah, it's just very hard from the outside to
Mm.
understand that mindset.
Mhm. No,
Yeah.
I understand. Yes, I understand.
The it's like also I definitely didn't read backwoodsy as back. I guess
Woodsy?
they sound more different in American English, right? Backwoods and backwoods.
Backwoods?
Back
Backwoodsy?
without backwards? No.
Backward?
Backward word?
Backwards?
Yeah. I was like back well backwoodsy isn't a word either in my dialect as far as I'm
Mhm. Yeah,
oh.
fair, fair. Sorry, Jake. Oh my gosh. The eyes Jesse just made when you did your backwards in American, Jake, says
I've
David.
never said that I can do it well. Never. The day that I can do a good American accent will be the same one that David can do a good British one. I'm sure.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Um, it was me trying to communicate the difference as someone who doesn't have a rhotic accent.
Mm,
Okay, carrying swiftly on.
yeah. Bit of a
We're
tangent.
not going to worry about you.
Mhm,
We will save for
mhm,
maybe
mm,
some dialects of Korean have it, but
okay.
we're not going to
Mhm,
worry about it.
okay.
Anyway, basically, sounds change. Um, okay, so if we take some of these forms, um, well, no. First of all, I want to go back to the ideas section.
Okay.
So this palatalization stuff actually isn't so relevant. I don't want to completely get rid of it because some of it will be useful.
Okay.
Um, um, I'm trying to remember. Is it 5? Yeah, here we go. But so we want to do our Africa. So let's write that in first. So we usually in a document like this, I will number my sound changes.
Mhm,
When we get to Lexigy, I tend not to number them, mostly because before we have finalized everything, like we aren't going to basically know exactly what number each of them is.
mhm. Okay.
Um, so um, so affrication. So we give them a name which is descriptive of the kind of change that we're doing. And we're going to say that a alveolar. Now, I say alveolar. I think that. Do you say alveolar or alveolar? Because I think alveolar would sound better in your accent.
I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea. I feel like I have only really heard it from other people. I don't feel like I have a I don't know, a rapport of with that word.
Okay.
Alveolar? Is that what you're saying with the two options?
Yeah.
Alveolar, says David. I've only ever heard 3 syllables from Americans. Alveolar would be 3. Alveolar. Both are fine. Is that a
Oh no, David is
Euro?
completely correct that his British accents are much better than my American accent. That doesn't mean that I do not cringe every single time that I, I hear them. Um,
People are very
so
confused by the lack of O.
alveolar. How and I feel like I know I've heard George say it, but I am trying to remember. Yeah,
Alveolar.
alveolar, alveolar. Oh, like alveolar,
Alveolar?
alveolar.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that this isn't making any progress, so I'm gonna go back to the document.
Say it how
Okay.
you want it, and I'll say it the way you do probably, when I remember.
Well, I I usually say alveolar, I think.
Okay. Alveolar it is.
Um, so what this and so this is the thing. The thing before is what you start with, and the thing after is what you get,
Okay.
and then you have a slash, which indicates that what follows is the environment. And we're going to say that this is before close vowels.
Okay.
Um, and would you like me to write this out in full for you? Because I think that while you're learning, it's going to be helpful to see it. So it
Mhm.
basically means that T, D, and oh no, I have to use
Oh, our little, like, thing. The
yeah.
the the yeah,
Um,
the affricated, the F I forgot the word. Has that sound in
African
yes,
or
okay.
Africa.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, and yeah, there we go. And those will become th, and th.
Okay.
And I'll write it out when before I and you.
When before I and you.
So the when bit is equivalent to the slash,
Okay.
and the before bit is basically because this underbar is that's what you call them, right?
No.
Yeah, is before this bit.
I think we call those, like, an underscore?
Underscore, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I am absolutely a native English speaker and should not be having these issues. I'm just like vibing.
I mean, I feel like I know nothing, so we're good.
No, I find it so embarrassing how bad I am at spelling sometimes.
That's okay. I'm so bad at pronouncing things, so I feel like we balance out well.
Yeah, and then
Hmm.
David likes to do like a more wordy description. So this is basically, I think I'll do this because when we do Let's Have a Booba, we know that the audience, for the most part, is going to be like 5 people who know about the same, if not more than us. So we just kind of go with it. So
Right.
the series of alveolar stops is affricated to don't think that's useful. Becomes affricated stops when followed by a close vowel, namely I or U. And we can say these are phonemic. This makes them and so. Is that helpful?
Yes. I think that is helpful. Yeah. We might, once I get used to the pattern, we might not need to write it out every time, but like I feel like having that as like an example, because then if I forget, I can kind of scroll up and like swap out the terms, you know?
Okay, we're gonna find an example. So example. So Lady tail will become Lidzi.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. That's kind of fun. Okay.
Which already to me sounds a bit more Italian than Lidi.
Yeah.
Although I feel like with the right accent, Lidi, like you can get.
Yeah. The accent hard enough.
Oh wait, this is a good time to shout out that in 2 days, Jesse's newest article on Fiat Lingua is coming out, all about stress patterns. So wait, what's Jonathan taking a screenshot of? Anyway,
I don't know.
Isn't FL Florida?
That is the thing for Florida. Yeah, I think probably.
I feel like I've completely blanked on what happened in the last like minute.
I don't know.
I'm gonna recenter and come back to this. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is idea 1 complete, basically.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
So, in the end, we didn't have any labialized clusters. We don't have W anywhere in the language at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm going to delete the whole row, I think, because it has ended up not being relevant. Okay, next goal. Gain labial fricatives. Lose H for Italianness.
I like it.
Okay, so I don't think calibrate yourself is a put down. I think Nemo's being supportive in a way that I don't really Oh, Fiat Lingua. Okay.
Yeah. And while we're briefly distracted again, I put the link in the chat for the stream in 15 minutes. Update it.
It's gonna auto redirect, isn't it?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you'd set that up.
I thought I did too, but now I'm second guessing myself.
I believe in you.
Okay. It's a question of whether I remembered to do it or not before.
We'll see.
Regardless.
Regardless.
Yes.
And even irregardless.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm trying to think when a good time to get rid of H is.
Okay.
One thing is that I don't think it's cross-linguistically required. But if we go to the phonology section,
Yes.
and I feel like we didn't even properly consider all of the implications of this, but anyway.
I mean,
Do you
probably
remember
not.
we decided we aren't having a right?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. So there's two things. The first is that I think it would be more strange to not have the H if we still have this aspirated series.
More strange to not have the H if we still had the aspirated series.
Let me write this out. Oh, and this is about the Fiat Lingua paper. So basically, I think I don't know how to do logic. I've been listening to Catabasis by R.F. Kuang, and the magic system is basically entirely based on the analytic school of philosophy,
right,
which I find interesting, but also basically because what I studied was far closer to the continental school.
Okay.
I have like one-sided beef with the world building purely based on, well, actually what I studied lines up with the protagonist, so I guess like it kind of makes sense why I'm rooting for her. But anyway,
Okay.
one of the big differences is that the other protagonist, I don't want to spoil anything. I feel like saying other protagonist is fine. Studies logic, and I have never studied it properly because I didn't do a philosophy degree.
Oh yeah, I studied logic.
You did?
I was a philosophy major originally.
Ah, so you can do that. And yes, Nemo, they're going into the underworld. So basically, if a language has aspirated stops, has contrastive aspirated stops,
Okay.
it probably also has a phonemic H. But it's not true. So this is, I think this is more that H is just a far more common sound phone than the aspirated series.
Okay.
Like, and even then, like, if it is the case, for example, that so in Spanish and Italian and French, they, rather than using aspiration as one of the primary distinctions, so in English we basically use the aspirated and voiced is one way to argue it. where our aspirated series has unaspirated allophones in certain environments. Like if we think back to the sky example, or top versus stop. And the thing that links those other languages is that they also don't have H. And I don't think that there is I don't think this is a universal, which is why I just put probably. I'll put it in italics. But I think that before we get rid of H, it would be good to lose our aspirated series.
Okay.
So, one thing would basically be to have these all become just fricatives straight away.
Okay.
So we would get an F. T can either become like th if you want a distinct th, but that's not very Italian.
Right.
So it may be better to have it become S, basically.
Okay.
Like we can, you could do a poll somewhere, or actually no, because if we get a dental fricative, then people will be attached to it, and then we won't be able to get rid of it.
People like gentle fricatives that much?
Yes, I will say, as someone who, I can say them, I say them quite often, but I do not always, and the number of times that I've had to think to myself, am I talking about a sliver or a slither, is embarrassingly more than it should be. Because I know that for you,
Oh,
the gentle fricative.
that makes more sense.
Did you also hear gentle?
Yes. I was like, people like gentle fricatives that much? Okay. I was so confused.
Wait, is David, are you live now then? Oh.
No, I posted in the chat that I wasn't able to set up the live redirect, although now it's officially set up because I went to pull it up to check and I couldn't because David didn't have me set up to do it. So I was like calling him out in the chat.
So I think that I say that we let's copy this over. Although I actually enjoy this a lot less than I thought I did. So sound changes, and so phoneme inventory. Okay, so the affricates are at this point not phonemic; they are allophonic.
Okay. Yeah.
So we can write those in as such.
Woo!
I'm sorry to everyone who wants me to get an IPA keyboard. I'm not there yet. Okay, so and I'll put these in green. Have you watched enough Lang Time Studios to know what the green means? Also, I'm sorry, there's a different shades of green.
No.
Okay.
I've seen them a lot, and I'm like, ah, yes, there's some. I do love some color coding, but I haven't been able to figure out and then remember what they mean.
Okay, I will write this up then. After Will, like, getting like Will first of all, Will immediately offering feedback on that map that I put in was amazing, but a bit of a surprise. And then Will being like, "Where's the key?" And I'm like, "I know there's not a key. I should have asked for a key, but I didn't make the map, and I'm sorry." And and now I'm just like, I guess I'll put a key for everything.
I
So
think
green,
Will has personally traumatized so much of the world building community to provide keys. Every time someone shares something in the Discord, they're like, "And there's a key for you, Will." It's good.
okay, and red will mean dead/old.
Okay.
So, 2. So, one thing I did want to no, I'm not gonna get there yet.
Okay.
2,
Yeah. 'Cause we
to
only have
be
4 minutes,
revealed
so
in a following stream.
Ooh.
Okay, so I don't know how early this hello Lipamanka.
Dorsal.
I think it's I don't really know. I think that it just felt broad enough. I also I'm it's better to have it be alveolar, really. I don't think that's the issue. Anyway, and I'll fix that up here as well. There were a number of stages of this chart.
Mhm.
So the labels have not always been updated properly.
Mm.
And what do you want to do in the last 2-3 minutes?
Well, I think we are doing this next week,
Yep.
but then the next week we're not because we're gonna be in Scotland.
Well,
I only
we're gonna
no.
be in Scotland. Like, wait, are you arriving earlier than me?
I'm arriving on the 9th. So wait, do we
Oh
have 2
yeah.
more Mondays?
Okay, yeah. You're still away on the 13th, but I am not.
Oh,
But
okay. Okay, that's the
I'm not gonna go on your channel by myself, so
fair. Okay, I'll still be in Scotland
you'll
for
still be in
KubiCon
Scotland.
2. Um,
But let's have a booba will be around on the 14th, I think.
okay. So no missing of the Let's Have a Boobas, and then
No, it's
this
fine.
stream will now actually redirect to the Art of Language Invention 10-year anniversary, which is David's stream. So just hang out, and then I think a button pops up to click to go over there. Oh, that would have been funny, Jonathan. Yeah, and I think we'll just keep continuing on with this. I feel like that's the vibe.
I'm sorry for disorienting your timeline, Nemo. Honestly, having Jonathan do a solo video or stream on Let's Have a Booba would be great, and I would trust them to do it more than almost anyone else.
Fair. It would be fun. Okay, I'm trying to think if we have anything else we need to cover in our last like small number of seconds, but I mean, I feel like we could just say we'll see you all in the chat on David's stream, and then Let's Have a Booba tomorrow, this again next Monday, and we'll do stuff.
Jonathan, have more faith in yourself.
All right. Are we ready to end the stream so it can cut right over?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody. See you in a
everyone.
minute. Bye. Clicking the button.